the campfire tales of South Texas. I'm sure most of you have heard some version of La Llorona, the sobbing woman, the lechuza, the white owl of death, and the evil that lurks in the hills of Devil's Backbone. But how can we separate fact from fiction? Join us, a small group of students, as we seek for the truth in these timeless folk tales.
The Pearsall Junior High School 6th grade wing is famous in the town for being haunted. Students and teachers have reported supernatural activities such as objects floating, cold spots, and also the feeling of being followed when walking down the hallway alone.
The old legend about the old 6th grade wing down here, that Hugh Huey was the guy, a construction worker years ago, that when they were building that wing in the school was crushed by some cement. His wife still lives over on Margot Drive, they said, here in town, and she's talking to some of the kids that at night he'll roam the halls. And there's one room down there that I was in last year. It didn't matter, I could turn every computer off in that room, lock the door, there was no windows. I could unplug them from the wall almost, and this one computer would be on every single morning. I would come in and it would be back on. So, I mean, the custodians here have said the hallway at night, and they'll look up and see something at the end of the hallway, and by the time they get there, it's gone. We came in one morning early for a tournament. It was probably about 6 something in the morning, and we were in the coach's office, and all we could hear basketballs dribbling in the gym. And we went flying out thinking the kids were in there, and when we got in there was nothing in there, no lights, and the sound stopped. So I'm sure there's tons of old people around here.
The Faust Hotel is one of the most haunted hotels found in Texas. Built just prior to the Great Depression, this hotel is known for the ghosts that roam the halls. The most cited is Walter Faust, who found a depression of his own. After many years of unhappiness, he resorted to hanging himself. Thus, the story goes that his spirit still haunts the hotel.
I can tell you a couple of stories. Back in 1990, I suppose in 92 or 93, I had painters in the hotel. Don Abrams and his partner painted the entire interior of the hotel. And our goal was to keep each floor of the hotel vacant as they went through the hotel and painted. And so the 2 painters were up on the 2nd floor, and the one guy walked down to the front desk and asked the desk clerk, I thought the object was to keep guests out of the hotel and not have anybody up there because they complained about the odor of the paint. Well, we're doing that, and someone just walked into 209 and tipped his hat, and he turned around and looked, and he said, and it's that guy right over there, the picture on the wall, that's Walter Faust. Then they went up on the 3rd floor, and we're painting. Barney, the assistant painter, looks, and here's a 9 or 10-year-old girl skipping down the hall, whistling, singing. She's got a cat in her arms, and she skips right through the wall. And one of my painters walked off the job that evening, and that was the end of the paint job for Barney. And I have to tell you, and I've got the photograph in my office over here of the girl with the calico cat in her arms that skipped through the wall on the 3rd floor.
La Llorona, the sobbing woman, is one of the most popular ghost stories in South Texas. It is an age-old tale that has been passed down from generation to generation.
One that comes to mind is La Llorona, which is pretty common, I think, throughout South Central Texas. And the story goes that there was a young lady who became pregnant out of wedlock, and she was somewhat of a disgrace to the family. And in order to try and get away from this disgrace, she left the family house one evening, and she threw her baby into the river, and of course the baby drowned. And it is said that in some nights you can hear this lady, or the ghost of this young lady, walking towards TP4, the dam, wailing and crying for her baby because she had such remorse.
In the 1800s, a home was built for Sarah and Erastus Reed. Even after Sarah's death, she still haunts the place that was once her home, that is now known as the Ye Kindle Inn. Although most ghosts are known for causing havoc and frightening people, Sarah spends her time protecting and watching over the inn that was once her home.
This is in the historic Ye Kendall Inn, which was established about 156 years ago, and it was built for Sarah and Erastus Reed. It was a home, then it became a stagecoach stop, and then later a hotel. And it is one of 6 hotels that were in Boerne, but it's the only still operating hotel. And we are on occasion visited by Sarah Reed. And she was always looking after everything, whether people were comfortable, everybody was eating. She was the overseer. And when I first moved my store, Sarah would check up on me. And I could hear her walk on the floor, and she would leave doors open that were closed. She likes my chimes, and every once in a while, for no reason, they'll just start chiming away. And she's a good ghost. She's not scary. She usually comes at night, not during the day. And when the bookstore moved in March, within the first day, Sarah visited them. And she didn't like particular books that they had displayed. And they kept falling off the shelves. And so they would put them back up, and they would fall off the shelves. So they moved them. Sarah was okay. She was happy with that. And we haven't, it's usually when you first are, so when something new is going on, we will experience her. But otherwise, she just leaves us alone. She is very protective. For 4 months, I did not realize that I was leaving my door unlocked. I thought I was locking it, and it was actually unlocking it. I never had any theft in those 4 months. And so she's a very good person. And that's Sarah Reed to this day.
Devil's Backbone is one of the most haunted areas in Texas. The ghosts that haunt the highway at night are responsible for dozens of wrecks that occurred throughout the years. Our investigation of it takes place at the famous Devil's Backbone Tavern.
Not this part. Not this part. This is the newer part. Now I'll show you here, sweetie. Come here.
Okay.
This little place right here. This, not that. This little place right in here was a stagecoach stop at one time, back in the late 1700s, early 1800s. And it went further back in there. But this was basically the little place. And then I'll take you inside and you can see the rest of it.
And how did the backbone, the Devil's Backbone, come to be?
Because this whole ridge here, and it even spreads down 306. This whole area here is called the Devil's Backbone Ridge. And if you look at a regular map of Texas, you'll see that it goes here and then goes over towards 306. There's a lot of ghosts around.
So do you know of any particular place that's haunted?
This is haunted.
This is haunted?
This is haunted for the simple fact that at night when you get done working the bar and you're here all alone closing up, and you turn off all the lights because that's what they want you to do, and then you come walking outside after you've locked up and the lights will be back on and slamming of doors. This guy's actually written a book about this place where he actually has...
The door just opened.
Door just open.
Well, see, they're nosy. Last 2 weeks ago,
They closed again. They even get the door.
The doors just closed. That was cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
they'll go and turn the lights on in the back room, and you just get mad because you'll be sitting out here waiting for your car to warm up, you know, so you can take off because it's...
So what do? You just leave and
Oh,
leave
you
them
bet. I'm not going back.
on? I wouldn't either.
I mean, they're not, they won't hurt you or anything, but,
Yeah, but-
I don't want to go back in there and have an encounter.
In the early 1800s, when they were traveling through this area, since this was the only clear path between Austin and San Antonio
For the cattle
for the
drives.
cattle, the
And
drives,
for moving.
and they would push the.
Oh yeah, but people killed each other because they wouldn't back up. You know, they wouldn't back up, and then they try to go.
Why is it that they call it the Devil's Backbone?
Because it's so windy,
Because
and
it's
this is one of the most haunted places in the state of Texas.
Yeah, you need to get those books by, what's his name?
They had lots and lots of Indian massacres right over in the valley over here.
Yeah, that was an old preacher that did that. So I got the
Yeah.
name.
Which preacher?
It was an old preacher from out in Mexico.
A preacher from
Was
Mexico?
real mean, tortured the Indians and all that stuff. If you look
That's
back
no
over the
kidding.
And then
fireplace,
open and
you look
close
back
the
over the
door for us.
fireplace, there's a face of one of those rocks is shaped like the devil.
Really?
They found a rock, and this is the rock that they found.
Oh, that looks creepy.
The Lechuza is an old Mexican folk tale which originates in northern Mexico and southern Texas. Although there are many versions of this story, most of them are linked to the old witches and witch doctors of Mexico that change shape into an owl. They are known to cast spells, hexes, and even death on people they sought.
A couple of legendary stories or beliefs. One of them is over La Lechuza. Legendary or legends say that La Lechuza, which is actually a barn owl, in the olden days they say that witches or so-called ladies wanted to be witches would convert themselves into barn owls and would go and position themselves close to the people that they wanted to make some brujeria or spells on. In Laredo, they trapped a lechuza which they spotted near a house. They caught her, and they say that when you catch a lechuza, what you need to do is to burn them. So they took the lechuza, and as they were building the fire and getting ready to put her on a pole there to burn her, to burn the lechuza converted itself back into a woman. And she pleaded her case that they had sent her to go do those spells on those people. So from there comes the belief nowadays that lechuzas do exist. They're witch ladies that try to do spells on other people.
The chupacabra is a widely known mythical creature, with reports of it coming from South America up through Mexico to Texas and even Florida. This strange beast is blamed for mutilating animals of all sorts and eating their organs.
The other one that we talk about is the chupacabras. Now the chupacabras is a story that originated in the valley of the Rio Grande Valley, which is there by McAllen, Edinburgh, far some Juan Alamo, those areas there. They say that they started finding a lot of mutilated cows out there in the ranches, and they would go and look at those cows that they would find dead, and all their organs would be missing. You know, so they said that some people had spotted it being a large bird that looked kind of like a goat or had the face of a goat. Those would be two of the legendary stories on La Lechuza and the Chupacabras. Take it for what it's worth. Maybe you do believe in them, maybe you don't. But if you ever run across either one of them, turn the other way and walk away.
So did we come closer to finding the truth behind these legendary stories? Or in a sense, did we just add more flame to the imaginary fire that keeps these stories alive and timeless?